When I learned there was an ESP32 module with an onboard I2S audio chip under the shield, I had to get one to add to the collection of audio platforms I could experiment with. In addition to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capabilities, with the audio codec, there's lots of potential uses including a Bluetooth speaker or a real-time audio effects processor. But I needed some sort of simple breakout board to make it easy to work with, so PCB Waste sponsored this project, providing PCBs to help me get this module up and running. It wasn't so easy to find detailed information about this specific module, but this is the resulting schematic I put together by looking at similar reference designs and reading forums on how to use certain features. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, providing audio in and out and not committing the GPIO pins to anything dedicated any more than needed. I used the popular USB interface and auto programming circuit found on a lot of ESP modules. The transistor circuit allows the USB port to reset the module in either programming or run mode, so no buttons need to be pressed to flash firmware. We just need to make sure that any relevant GPIO pins are in the correct state when we want to program. Which brings up another point. GPIO2 either has to be left floating or low in order to program. But I chose GPIO2 as one of my SPI header pins here. It's just a minor inconvenience. It means if I do have anything connected here that pulls the pin high, I need to unplug it to program. I was planning to use this header mostly as an SD micro card Arduino module socket. I should have chosen a different GPIO because I can assign them in software. Following all the reference information available to me, including any datasheets or similar breakout board designs, I provided a line in and headphone out along with a stereo audio power amp just in case I want a quick way to hook up a couple of speakers for testing. But I'm more focused on the line in and out so I can do real-time audio effects processing and send the audio back out. The PCB footprint I chose for the USB header gave me some trouble because the connectors I had in stock didn't fit properly with the mounting tabs. I couldn't get the connector to sit flat on the board, so I'm just using an externally wired-in USB connector breakout board just to get up and running until the right parts arrive. With the hardware figured out, I found a library to use the AC101 I2S audio chip on this module. It came with a demo sketch to play simple melodies using the ringtone text transfer language that old cell phones used to use. When I tried it out, I went to the link they provided in the sketch and I chose a ringtone there. It sounds like a cross between an old phone and a very old video game soundtrack. But the implementation is relatively straightforward. This AC101 chip library uses the ESP8266 audio library and just adds the capability for this specific chip. If we look at the AC101 library source, it contains all the info and routines to talk to this chip over I2C, which is all happening under the shield on the module. And it initializes it and gets it ready, configures it, and then using this other ESP8266 library, if we take a look at that library allows all kinds of different audio file types to be read from all kinds of different media sources and played over I2S audio devices. But it didn't support AC101 chips. Then I saw there was a talking clock example here. And that uses the Talkie library that I've looked at before with Arduino, and this sketch will go online, get the time from a time server over Wi-Fi, and then say the time on the I2S audio.
The time is 4:24 p.m.
After trying a few examples and getting them to work with the ESP, I was getting used to how all of this works, and I still wanted to test my SD card reading capability, so I took a look at these examples and merged some of them together so I could play an MP3 by reading it from an SD card and sending it out over I2S, sending it to the AC101 module. So I threw all of this together, including a routine to print out the file directory contents on the SD card, and then play the MP3s one at a time as they are found on the SD card. So I loaded up the SD card with some of my favorite hits from the YouTube music library. Now I knew how to play audio on the module, but I still needed to figure out how to get sound into the module so I could work on real-time audio processing. I found a GitHub project and a YouTube video demo of a multi-track looper using this same module that I have. It required using a customized version of the original AC101 audio chip library to add some features to it to get line in and microphone in working, and this also includes a simple audio delay effect. Using that reference design, I made some changes to just simplify it down for what I wanted. Of course, giving credit to the original author and where to go find the files. And one of the things I did is I added 3 potentiometers so I can control the output volume and make sure it's low enough to be used as a line out instead of headphones, and 2 potentiometers to control the delay duration and the delay feedback. I think this PCB is going to get a lot of use. Thanks to PCBWay for providing the boards to support this project. Thanks for watching, and check back later for more.